Hi. Okay. Hello. So today we have the interview with the Hidden Dragon from alivepsychic.com. I'm waiting for him to join. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you so much for being here. So Hidden Dragon is a natural-born clairvoyant. He's a student and practitioner of Zep-Tepi and the ethericwands. He also does crystalball readings. So we'll go around the questions, and at the end, if anyone has any extra questions, we'll answer them at the end. So the first question is, how is your experience as a reader on Life Psychic going?
I would say it's going good. It's going great. I think it will become great, that site, and I'm just really happy to be part of a new psychic community, which I feel the immediate needs of the clients are met, and it's all about the interactive experience of the psychic community and the psychic world. Because I've heard some real horror stories and scams going on all across the board, and I know actually that's a very bad look for the psychic community, and it's very sad, that some people's experiences are these horror stories and scams. But what I'd like to add as well, I feel with the features and functions of the new site, it's just perfect. You can have the two-way audio and video in the free chat. I think that's really brilliant. It's very simple. You use PayPal to pay. It's just very simple. And as I said, it's a very interactive community. So, yeah.
Okay, that's great. So how everything started for you? How did you become aware of your psychic abilities? How did you awaken into and was brought to spirituality? What was your experience?
Okay, well, it kind of started long ago. And, as children, we have these experiences, but we don't have any names for them. Neither do we have guidance in the sense, with some parents. Anyway, in my experience, that was the case. So, when I was a child, I was terrified of the dark. What do you do? Everybody is as a child. And the reason I was afraid was because I would see faces in the dark, and I would see faces in the curtains, on the ceiling, on the wall. And, my parents thought, I was just trying to get attention, and there was monsters under the bed. And every night before I slept, there was like these dots, and it would just swirl like a vortex in front of me. And I knew that I was about to go to sleep, and I would fight it because I was terrified of having nightmares. But it wasn't always like that. I can remember even earlier where I would have pleasant dreams, and I would be flying around, floating around. I'd be visiting temples on top of mountains. And the thing is, it's when the subliminals from cartoons and movies begin to get into the child's minds and the subconscious mind, you begin to learn to be afraid of these things. And that's what I learned, that this is a scary thing, and it's not real, and I blocked it out completely. But it wasn't until 2009, after the global recession, that I lost everything. I lost my job, my place, everything, my car, and it was basically rock bottom. But my grandmother gave me this book about the psychic mind. I was always interested in, spiritual circles, mediumship. My grandfather would have spirits come to him. I'd had experiences as a child, seeing these things. And in that book, it was all about how the CIA, the KGB, were doing psychic experiments with remote viewing, where you can see anywhere on the map with just your mind's eye. They were practicing telepathy with success. The police were using psychic detectives to solve murder mysteries with a technique called psychometry. again with success. And then the dowsing, where in the Vietnamese war, they would use dowsing to find and locate people underground. So when you dig underground, if there's like a cavity, if you like, the metal begins to move because of the Earth's electromagnetic fields. And I was just like, okay, wow, like this is, you know, something beyond belief. You know, it's not religion, it's not spirituality, it's science, it's a foundation, it's something real. So, you know, from that point on, my mind was pretty free to roam and run. And so I practiced clairvoyant exercises, visualization, sensing colors, those sorts of things. And, you know, I had all the time in the world. I lost everything. And I just started to really see these things. And that's when I had this experience where you could see my third eye had opened and I was able to see, feel, and hear vibrations, strangely enough. But it was then that I saw some spirits at the bottom of my bed, and I was just like, I froze in fear. You know, like in my mind, what I said was, you know, I'm not ready to talk to ghosts. I'm not ready to talk to ghosts and spirits.
How old were
So
How
that
old?
was 2009. I was, I think, 21. Yes, 21. I was 21 then. And, you know, I just froze in fear, and I was like, no chance. So 2 years of, you know, going out with friends and partying and, you know, living life, enjoying it, happened. And then, you know, I started to just realize, you know, my experiences and how real the spiritual world was, and started to come back to me. And I, you know, I was depressed. Everybody was paranoid. You know, friends were falling out, and I was just like, you know, this is not my scene. So I came back, and in 2011, I met the Guardian on social media on Facebook, and we clicked, and he introduced me to orgone energy, introduced me to scientists such as Wilhelm Reich, who does the orgone energy, Victor Schauberger, who was the water wizard, the water vortex, George Lukovsky, who done about the multiple wave oscillator. Very, very interesting things, Masaru Emoto. So again, the science came back to me. I was given that foundation once again to free roam and explore the psychic world. And that's when, you know, I started to practice some healing. I was doing spiritual circles, and it wasn't until about end of 2012, 2013, we met in person, me and the Guardian, and I was initiated into Zep-Tepi healing and the ethericwands. So I've been practicing those since, I would say, 2013. And
It's how science and science. I think that's very.
Sorry, see again? You cut out there. Sorry.
I was saying, I'm hearing myself. I don't know what's the problem.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm hearing myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's interesting, science and spiritual. I think it's very. So I wanted to ask, you say you are a partner of Zep-Tepi. Explain what is it about, and yeah, how you do it, and where does it come from?
Yeah, sure. So let me just start. You know, we're talking about bridging the science and the spirituality, and I feel that's a really important foundation. So, okay, so today science tells us that everything is made of atoms. So the building blocks of the universe, just like bricks build a house, well, atoms build the universe, so to speak. So this phone, myself, my body, my physical body is made of these electromagnetic energies just vibrating, okay? And in quantum physics, they have this terminology called quantum entanglement. And what the quantum physicists say, and I quote their words, an object over here can affect an object over there, even though the object over here is at a great, great distance, sometimes infinite distance, okay? So the ancients knew all of this, which is the Zep-Tepi. That's what Zep-Tepi means, the beginning. And with the Zep-Tepi, we work before time. So we work with the universal ether element, which is, of course, timeless and spaceless. And this is the energy that we work with or conduct our healings with. We influence, if you like, our own life energy with the life energy, or the atmospheric life energy to affect or heal a person at a great distance, an infinite distance, you know. So it doesn't have to be a face-to-face client, but it can be a remote healing taking place. So that's how we do that. And we bring the affected areas back into equilibrium or back into harmony. It's a little more complicated than that, but I would say, you know, that's the best example. That's the best way I could explain it for now.
That was good. Are there any tools that you use in this type of healing?
Yes, yes, they are actually. So as mentioned, all okay?
Yes.
Yeah. As mentioned, I use the etheric wands. So these are the etheric wands. This is blue because it's masculine. So you hold this with your right hand. This is red because it's feminine, and you hold this with your left hand. And the idea is, you know, just like the plus and minus of, say, a battery, the masculine and feminine. Even electricians use that terminology, male and female wires, and you know, when they touch, you get the spark, if you like. So I use the etheric wands, and the technique that I use with these is a technique called the polarization. And that's when you bring the masculine and feminine energies into harmony, synchronization, and when you touch, that's what you would call a polarization. And it's like when two frequencies, you know, are being played, your brain creates the third wave or the third frequency. The cat purr is the same as that too. And the analogy of the you know, the male and female is, of course, again, the electric and the magnetic fluids. So there is more to the Zep-Tepi healing. You know, we influence the electric and the magnetic fluids. So we work with guiding principles. You know, we apply knowledge and apply principles. It's not just, you know, faith and belief, but it's a real application of knowledge and principles. And we always apply the polar opposite works. And you see this in normal everyday life. I have a diploma in sports science, and you know, I studied sports science, physiotherapy. So and sports injury. So when a person is injured, they sprain their ankle, the ankle swells and it becomes inflamed. So what you do is you put ice on top of that. So where there's heat and inflammation, you put the ice on top of that to bring about the equilibration and the healing. And so these tools work on an energetic level with the same principles.
And where do these come from?
Sorry?
Where does wands come from? Where does it come from?
Okay. So these particular ones, sorry, my light on my computer went out. So these ones are created by the Guardian. He is the guy who created the etheric wands, and that's where they do come from since 2013. Been working with them and a practitioner of them. But if you look in ancient Egyptian history as well, you'll see that these tools are, of course, very rare, and they haven't been around for thousands and thousands of years. And you'll see statues in ancient Egypt where the pharaohs, you know, they're standing straight, and we have the wands at each side. And in ancient Egypt, those energies were called Ka and Ba, which just means electric and magnetic, or male and female. In the Chinese Oriental tradition, they call it yin and yang. So you see the analogy is across the whole board here. And so, yeah, so these were created by the Guardian, and it's what we use today.
So you also sell these, right?
Yes, yes, the Guardian has a lot, and I have a few pairs just up here. So if anybody wanted to get in touch and learn more about the etheric wands and things like that, then you can direct message myself or the Guardian if they wanted to purchase a pair, or have a chat about them.
Okay,
so yeah.
Great. You also mentioned crystal ball divination. How is your going, and when did you start?
Okay. Yes, so crystal ball divination, I've been practicing, I would just say, actually coming up a year, almost a year, maybe just over a year now, since I practiced crystal ball divination. Again, the Guardian is my teacher with the crystal ball. And I started with a small smoky quartz ball for the readings, and yeah, and then I've got other crystal balls. I have a shungite opaque crystal ball, which I use now for my readings with my hands, and the third eye, or the mind's eye. And then I have a clear crystal quartz, which we practice.
Which one is best for type of readings, in your opinion?
For readings?
Which type of crystal is the best, like, in your opinion?
In my opinion, okay. Well, okay. So the easy route would be, I mean, with the smoky quartz, I could see quite a few things in there. I would get pictures in there. With the shungite, I'm just learning with that, but the challenge is good because I get the rewards from that. So the shungite will help me develop a lot more, because you can't see in the crystal ball. You can't pick up any shapes or images or anything like that. But with your hands, seeing with your hands and seeing with your mind's eye helps you develop clairvoyance and visions, which I've had experiences of already. So the shungite is definitely the best for development of the clairvoyance and the psychic or the mind's eye. The smoky quartz, as I said, I really enjoyed because I had a good connection with it, but it was very small. And the quartz, the clear quartz, what I have, I just use that specifically for healing. So it's to choose, I can't really choose. The easiest route is the smoky quartz, but that's so small, and it is what it is. But the shungite helps me really develop, and then the crystal quartz I really just keep for healings. Okay,
great. And as we see, you have many years of experience as a psychic, as a reader and healer. What would be your advice to people who are starting or are just awakening into spirituality, or are starting as readers or psychics? What would be your advice to them?
My advice would be to seek knowledge on the topic, on different topics, on different subjects of the things we explained. The crystal ball, the healing, the wands, remote viewing. And the funny thing is, you can find that all on the CIA's website. They have documentation of all of this. So that's a very, very credible source. So I feel like if you seek the knowledge, you have a good foundation. And if you can cross-reference the science with the spirituality, then you'll have a good, solid foundation. Because I find a lot of people in the New Age movement, they lose it. They give up, they stop believing, or they push themselves so far, and they don't go hand in hand with the knowledge that, yeah, they have a mental breakdown, and some of them, even worse. I know of people who have, had complete psychosis or whatever like that. So knowledge is very, very important, and to take each step with knowledge and wisdom, knowledge and experience, science and spirituality is definitely perfect way to go, I would say. And so from there, what will be next is depending on what you're interested in. But I feel that, you know, grounding is very important to remain grounded. And the reason why I say that, again, the science tells us, you know, your brainwave patterns, the beta, alpha, theta, delta, gamma, these 5 brainwave patterns correspond again with the Earth's Schumann resonance. So there is science there for everybody to seek and understand. And you get a lot of people running around and I don't know what they're saying, you know, they're just regurgitating this spiritual jargon now. It's this new age thing. But yeah, so grounding is important. I feel meditation is important. And again, what I would advise for people who want to meditate is you need to practice how to sit still. If you can't sit still for 15 minutes, then you're not going to have any type of experience. It's not about shutting off your mind or ignoring your emotions or overcoming them, because it's just never going to happen. You know, you're connected to infinity. You're connected to your subconscious mind. How many past lives you've had, you don't even know. So you don't even know where this is coming from. So the goal here is to be able to sit straight, your hands on your lap, and just try for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And it's very hard. And it is very hard. You're going crazy and your mind's like blah, blah, blah. You want to move, but the idea here is to overcome your nervous system and to grow your willpower. And I guarantee you, after a week or 2 of being able to sit still on a table chair, 1, you'll have a great sense of achievement because you thought you could never do it. And 2, your mind will become a lot more calmer. And from then, I feel that that is a really good base to move forward. So that's all, you know, spirituality and science. But if you want to, you know, become a reader, I would say with your tarot cards, I would say use them on yourself. You know, look at situations in your life which have happened, which you know the outcome, and deal the cards, use the spreads, and see what the cards are revealing. Because, you know, there's a book full of definition, but I feel it holds more value when you read for yourself, because then you can be able to connect these cards with feelings and emotions, which is, of course, an intuitive connection, so that I feel that you gain more experience than you possibly can from the book. And that's the reason why I use, you know, destiny cards. I use abstract cards, abstract images, where I just connect to the feelings. And anybody who wants to then develop their psychic abilities, then I suggest, you know, you look up these topics, these subjects, remote viewing, psychometry, join a spiritual circle, look into different healing modalities for sure. Or join alivepsychic.com and come and see what the spiritual community is about. And yeah, everything's going to be there, you know. So that's what I would advise.
Those are great. Actually, before going to the next question, I would like to answer one that was asked in the chat. We have Interfacto asking, can you talk about limits or what we should be aware, ethics or dangers in this? I mean, I think it's more spirituality and all this psychic stuff. And also Luke's asked about the precautions that we should take. What could you say?
Okay. Limits. Well, I think it's smart to say, you know, that your mind is limitless. You are connected to infinity. So just to be aware of that. Again, what I was saying about trying to sit still and meditate, thinking you're going crazy, like, you know, the more you try to battle this infinite mind, this subconscious mind that really has no limits, there's no time and space, then, you know, you're going to start to judge yourself, you'll start to value this negative self-talk, and you can become depressed, you can become anxious, you can, you know, all of these type of things can happen. So it's just recognizing that you are connected to infinity, and your thoughts and emotions, you're not really going to rein in. That's shouldn't be the first step here, but rather being comfortable in your body and in yourself. Taking precautions, well, you know, I wouldn't go around. I wouldn't go around practicing certain magics, you know, because you don't know what you get yourself into. So I think the fundamentals and the foundation is important. And I feel from there, you find your bearings and what you're interested in. You already know, you know. It's up to the person themselves which direction they want to go. But if they don't do the preparatory work and build their foundations, then they can probably be influenced in a negative way. So, you know, I kind of feel sorry for the psychics who joined the CIA, because nobody knows what really happened to these people afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
Even like a psychic detective, I feel that's very dangerous. If you join a police force and you're a psychic detective solving murder mysteries, you're going to get a lot of people coming for you with guns and knives or whatever. So even that's very dangerous, you know. So at the moment, the times we're in, it's a personal development, and that's what it should be for, assisting others, because I feel like it's a real part of life. So I hope that answered their questions on precautions.
Yeah, I think it did. Thank you so much. Another question is, what does motivate you to do the work that you do?
So what motivates me?
Yes.
Okay. So what motivates me, honestly, is, you know, friends and family. I have clients who come back to me saying, you know, you helped me, you helped my anxiety, you helped my relationship. I was aware of what was coming in the future. The timeline was good, la la la. But what motivates me with friends and family coming for advice is, you know, the fact that at one point in time, before I really met the Guardian, I didn't really have anybody to help me understand what was going on. So it motivates me to be there for these people, because I wouldn't want them to experience the crazy stuff that I had to experience on my own. And I just feel, you know, as a child as well, when I was having those experiences, you know, you think children are afraid of the dark and they're seeing faces or monsters, and you think that's fear, but in reality, that's divination. You know, that's what it is. You see this, they're seeing things. So I feel the awareness there is really important, and that's something that really motivates me. And the other thing that motivates me selfishly is my personal development. I want to personally develop from this. I want to grow myself. I want to see it, experience it, feel it, and live it. And yeah, that's something that motivates me, because I always gain rewards from the challenges that I meet. So connecting with people, I found friends from all over the world, you know, and connected with people all over the world. Yourself or the people on a live psychic, and that's something I probably would have never come to experience had I not took the opportunity to step into this world or step into this community. So yeah.
That's amazing. And what are your current working hours on the website that people can talk to you?
Okay, so my current working hours, I'm in Dubai, so I would say, you know, from Dubai time from 2 p.m. till 2 a.m., that 12-hour window. If I'm not with other clients offline, or I don't have anyone here, that's definitely the best window to catch me working online. But of course, if anybody wanted to direct message me here on Instagram, I'll happily respond and get back to them. But of course, check me out on alivepsychic.com and you'll find me there in that window. So.
Okay. So that was it for the questions. I don't know if there anyone who has any extra question to ask the Hidden Dragon. You can go and ask, please. And if not, then we'll be done here. Let's just see if there are questions.
Let me just say thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this. I think it's really good work, and I was really fascinated with the other interviews from that you did with the other people,
Thank
Isadora,
you.
the Guardian. It's just fantastic, you know. It's just feels good. I was even excited to come and do it. So thank you. That's great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have no questions, so I think we answered everything here. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. Oh, now we have a question. Why Hidden Dragon? That's interesting. That one is interesting.
Right. Yeah, true. I think I know you just asked that. So why the Hidden Dragon? Well, it has a few different meanings. Of course, if you look into the Kundalini, if you like, you have the serpent that's meant to be coiled in the root chakra, and the awakening is where it travels up the 33 vertebrae of the spine to the crown, and then you are awakened, so to speak. So I feel there is a hidden dragon within every single one of us. I feel that the dragon is part of the human psyche. I feel like dragons represent the devil, and it also represents God because it masters the elements. It is kind of the magician. It breathes fire, can swim in water, it flies in the air, it guards treasures in gold, so that's the earth element. And then on the other side, they're cunning, they're vicious, la la la. So I feel like dragons are really a hidden part of the human psyche more than we even know. And if you look around the whole world, all you see is pictures of dragons, you know, statues of dragons, they're on people's flags, the stories of dragons. And it's like, okay, was the dinosaurs or was there dragons? You know, I don't see the
Yeah,
difference. I don't really see the difference. So yeah, that's why the hidden dragon. That's why, and obviously crushing tiger, hidden dragon. So
okay, another question. What was your worst mistake?
what was my worst mistake?
Yeah.
In what context do they mean?
In your development as a psychic,
As a psychic?
I think so.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, my worst mistake in the spiritual life was probably back in 2009 when I chose not to communicate with these spirits, and I went off on a little 2-year journey, living my life in my early 20s, like every single early 20s teenager does. You know what that involves. So I think that that was my worst mistake, that I didn't listen to my heart, you know, when I knew what I should have been doing and I just wasn't doing it. And I feel like I had to forgive myself for that, you know, and I still sometimes have to do it all the time. But that was definitely my worst mistake, not listening to my heart and doing things that I knew I shouldn't be doing. Yeah, it hurts, you know.
Yeah, it's like going against your destiny.
Completely, you know. And then you think to yourself, okay, so yeah, I kind of deserve some of this, you know. But that's good because that's very freeing and it empowers you because you understand it then. And then once you know that you have the choice to choose, you know, like the world's your oyster and the sky's the limit.
Okay, we have another from the Guardian. What about Ascension?
Ascension. Oh, wow. I don't know. A question about ascension. Well, that's been the question, hasn't it, for thousands of years, and it's a very hot topic in the spiritual community. It's like, you know, some people believe that we just ascend. There's a really funny movie with Seth Rogen, and it's called "This Is the End." Oh, it's hilarious. It's about the apocalypse, you know, and people are taken to heaven and they're all left behind. It's an hilarious movie. But yeah, Ascension, yeah, again, what they mention in that regard is that your physical body becomes your light body, and so you ascend. But I just feel, you know, that's part of spirituality. You're not going to particularly just go disappear somewhere, but rather, you know, you start to activate your energy body, you know, your soul, what's inside of you, these centers again. with the Kundalini or the hidden dragon, if you like. I guess that's what some people would call ascension, but you know, a lot of the community think that some people are just going to disappear and others are going to be left behind. But I just don't believe that, you know. I just don't believe that. So it's a touchy subject, but I just feel doing my practices and going on my spiritual journey is all I need at the moment, you know. And if anything, you know, if you look at the opposite, which would be descension, you know, that would be we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience, you know. We die, the afterlife, and we reincarnate. So we're actually having a human experience. And I feel that actually we need to bring this energy down, you know, this year, bring heaven to earth. We need to bring this energy down to our physical bodies, and then I don't know, then maybe the eye is opened. So I feel that that's what it's about. But I do see a lot of people being caught in that net. And that's what I mean by, you know, when you ask advice, I see, you know, people who don't have the knowledge, they're just completely swept out, and some people go insane, some people it ends up worse for some other people. I've seen it happen, not with my own eyes, but I've heard about it, and some people just completely come off their path. So I feel that that's why it's very important to stay grounded with the science and the spirituality.
Yeah.
Sure.
I love that principle. I think you're one of the psychics that's the only one that talks about it in the interviews. I find it very interesting combining both in one. Okay, sovereign. We talked about ethericwands before, so we'll not be discussing that again. Having a disgrace is necessary in order to exploit a gift.
Sorry, say again?
If having a disgrace is necessary in order to exploit a gift. I think
if having a what?
Disgrace. I think like a bad down moment, or can you see in the comments? I'm sorry.
I can have a look.
Interfacto.
Having a disgrace is necessary in order to exploit a gift. Well, I would say no, because if you cut yourself, your body heals. But you don't have to cut yourself for your body to learn how to heal. It just does that by itself. So that's the way I would put it. But I'm not saying that bad experiences don't give us insights and don't shock us on off the path. That happens. But I truly believe that it's innate inside of us. Like I say, your body doesn't need to know how to heal. You know, you cut yourself, it heals by itself. You didn't have to cut yourself first to know how to heal. So we don't have to do these things to ourselves to have this spiritual awakening or to get on the right track. It's a really touchy subject. You know, you could talk about karma, cause and effect, your choices. It's just, it is.
It can be a push, right? In some cases.
I would say, yeah, you know, it can definitely be pushed. But, you know, if we are disgraced and we exploit our gifts through that disgrace, then really we need to heal that wound. That's the whole point. And some people, you know, they lose family members, and then they have this gift, but they always carry the grief, and they can never heal that wound. And I feel that that's important. To show gratitude for the wound that happened and then heal it. Because as I said, people, I don't know, like you can use it, what happened to you as a child, or you lost someone, and then you devote your pain to this gift. And I feel that that's the wrong way to look at it.
Definitely. And the Guardian asking, can you tell us about the Hilo, please, dragon? Is it real?
The Hilo.
Hilo. Yeah, sorry.
Hilo, really. Well, funny enough, 20 years ago or so, my rap name or my MC name was MC Hilo because I kind of believed that I was my family's little angel, which wasn't really the truth. I was more of a mischief than anything else. But if you look around you, yeah, people are depicted with halos. You see dragons, you see halos. You see people with halos: Buddha, Christ, Shiva, St. John, Francis of Assisi. These people attained what looks like a halo. So, I mean, we're yet to see one yet, but I believe things were written in stone rather than what's written in a book. So I would say dragons are real, and I would say halos are real. And I truly believe, as I say, as science tells us, everything is made of atoms, electromagnetic energy. This phone, my body, is the same building blocks. I find that very weird, So if I can influence this electromagnetic energy or this information field, then there's really no limits to what you can do, and what you can achieve. Whether that's teleportation, whether that's instant manifestation, instant healing, putting your arm through objects, walking through walls, flying, who knows? Personally, I believe it all, but I'm yet to experience it, so it's the point.
Okay, I think answers the question, the Guardian's question. Sorry. Okay, we have more questions here. What can you say about House of Amenity?
The House of Amenity. Amenity.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't know really. I've heard who's asked that actually, if you don't mind me asking. The halls of MNT. So apparently that's like underneath the pyramids or underneath the Sphinx. Nobody really knows. It's meant to be these halls that connect stargates to other planets, or it's where Thoth placed the emerald tablets. All of this kind of stuff. Again, I feel it's like if you want to get into this, you need to start in elementary school. There's no point in jumping into university. A child doesn't go to university first, it goes to elementary school. So I feel if you study the elements and the basic building blocks, then if your destiny is calling you to that, then go and check it out. But I just need to warn people there's two sides to the coin, the double-edged sword, and there are traps everywhere. So I don't know. It's like it's meant to be this hall of records, but you have the hall of records inside your body. So what's the point? You look into the Akashic record inside your soul, and you can retrieve any information you want about past lives, other people, or whatever. It's not advised to look at other people without their consent, and it's the same with psychic readings as well. So yeah, I just need to put that out there.
So much. I think we're going already near the 1 hour. So I think, yeah, I'm not sure, but I think so. So I think we'll be finishing now. I wanted to thank you for being here for this interview, and thank you so much for everyone who asked all of the questions. They were very interesting and helped to complete this interview. I think it was amazing. And everyone who wants to talk more to the Hidden Dragon and contact him, you can join the website, or you can message him directly on Instagram. Okay, so thank you so much, the Hidden Dragon, and see you soon.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and I just think this whole idea is perfect. So thank you, and thank you to everybody who joined. And yeah, I'll see you later next training.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.